Get one yourself, son. And what a great goal! Otto shoots!
Well, hello everybody, welcome back to OnlyLeedsBros. Hope everybody is keeping and doing well. Hope you're all having a good Monday. Monday is one of them days of the week where it's all a little bit meh. So OnlyLeedsBros are here to give you a little bit of entertainment. Before we get into it, Dillo, we've loads to speak about. Milinkovic, Lucas Perri, Gudmundsson, Statch, and everything else in between, and whatever way the chat leads us. So please make sure you're smashing a like on the video and hitting subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. But Dillo, how are you?
Yeah, Monday Blues, going back to what you said. Only positive today, lads. I got a new van and work. Cracking. Sure, cracking. Like a new man driving down the road. Like a new man, I have to say. Lovely to drive. So yeah, other than that, Monday Blues, you know yourself. We keep going, we keep marching on.
We keep her late. And then Dylan, bit of good news as well. First team, we're back in training today as well, the 7th of July. We'll be back in for their tests and all that, and then they'll be back out on the pitch soon enough. We've obviously seen the training kit being dropped in as well. So starting to get exciting now, Dylan. It's really, really starting to feel real, and it's just around the corner now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting very closer and closer and closer. If I'm being honest, the nerves are rattling, but I can't wait for this Premier League to start. I can't wait to see Leeds, the New Jersey. You know, so much to look forward to. Opening day, you know, Leeds do put videos out, training, etc. More transfer news, more signings.
Yeah.
Obviously the outgoings, and then the other kits. So loads to look forward to.
Loads to come. Loads to come. Exciting times. Danny Talks Leeds says smash your like and subscribe, please. You thought that would be greatly appreciated, guys. Ian Ward, good evening, Darren and Dilla. Hope you bros are well. Really good, Ian. Thanks very much, pal. Stephen Bourne is here. Evening, lads. Evening, chat says Stephen. Good evening, gentlemen and chat. Hope everyone is good. Cheers, Danny boy. And evening, you too. Thanks, John. GP26 is in the building as well. How are you? How you are well, lads? I hope you're well, I think he says. Get you both on. I did a stream after you last week, and I went to shit internet, laptop, and Mike went, have you got a... I didn't know you had a channel, buddy. Make sure you're banging the link in here, buddy. We always like to help other channels out, so make sure you're putting in the link in here, buddy, and we'll bang it out for you and spread the word. Thought Dylan might be riding solo again tonight, Darren's favours. Yeah, so obviously you're seeing on Friday night things went a bit P-tong for myself here. Yeah, basically I'm just going to explain what happened. So obviously I have a laptop charger adapter here. Had a party the week before, the charger adapter was taken, so I was using my phone charger adapter, and basically I think the whole thing like nearly overheated. There was a little spark on the wall, so wasn't good, but Dylan done fantastically well, so he will be taking the reins from now on as well. I didn't know he had that in his locker. He was keeping that one quiet, so Dylan will be definitely doing a lot more of that. Heard Moon is another bid will happen. Did hear that as well, DB4, and thanks for sending me on a few bits as well. One to keep a close eye on. So we're betting getting a new contract. Supposedly he is saying. We did offer him one, but supposedly he is staying. And then Michael says, hi Darren and Dillo, hi buddy, thanks for popping in. And there you are, GP26. Yeah, make sure you go check that out, guys. Darren, get that, Gilbert. Just keep that domino powered up. We will indeed. Right, Dylan, let's smash straight into it anyway. So, as the caption says, goalkeeper hunt. Went very quiet about goalkeepers. Now seems to be two in the mix here, Dylan. We'll start off, I think, with Milinkovic-Savić. First of all, massive goalkeeper. 6'8". Tell us a bit about him.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I was just going to leave it at that, lads, to be honest with you. You can close the laptop, turn off the tellies. 6'8". What's not to like, lads? 6'8". An absolute giant of a man, if I'm being honest with you. Yes, obviously he's been linked with Leeds. Other clubs as well, I'm not even going to mention him because he's coming to Leeds. And that's the end of it. 158 appearances, goals conceded 163, clean sheets 52. So it is it's grand, you know yourself. It is one of Milinkovic is one of Europe's best keepers during last season, and speculation is unsurprising. But Leeds will be getting a superb keeper. Let's be honest, lads. At 6'8", why wouldn't he be? Yeah. He was the 9th in Europe's top 5 leagues last season of a save percentage of 77.5%, and the third of his overall performance against post-shot expected goals, plus 11.4%. Proven he's a brilliant shot stopper, which I think any club would be delighted
I was looking into some again. Look at YouTube is obviously the go-to place when you don't watch these goalkeepers much.
Yeah.
And he can take a free kick, Dylan. Oh my God, man! He can hit a free kick. So it could be our set piece taker, Dylan. Set piece taker and goalkeeper all in one.
But he's just big. He's just agile, you know, and he doesn't, because he is so big. You know, people are going to say that he's slow. He's actually very quick, very quick. His height and his physicality is obvious. Is why Leeds want him, considering the amount of giants we've been buying. And we've been linked to it. So yeah, I don't think anything's going to get past him, lads. It's going to be covering the whole net, if I'm being honest with you. So really happy with that
as well from last season as well, Dylan. 154 appearances for Torino as well, which isn't bad. 19 appearances for the Serbian national team. 10 clean sheets and saved 4 out of 7 penalties last season as well, that's good. And we know with Mez as well, you can almost guarantee a goal, can't you? If Leeds are after conceding a penalty, Mez isn't getting anywhere near her. So this guy has a good record as well in saving penalties, which again can be that 1% in the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. He has a release clause as well worth 21 million.
Not bad.
For foreign clubs, 19 million. So, and that's euros, by the way. So, but there's a lot of clubs interested in him. So, will we get that one across the line? Time will tell.
Yeah.
But big lad.
Stephen Bourne says here, all positive links, and if we can sign any of them, I'd be happy. But Milinkovic-Savić looks like an absolute beast, so let's do it, Leeds. And I think that's it, Dylan. When you look at him, like his stature, the type of goalkeeper he is, he looks intimidating as well. And let's be honest, lads, that's something that we haven't had in goals for Leeds United over the last couple of seasons. So it's a massive factor, Dylan, isn't it, that he could have that intimidation against, you know, Premier League strikers coming out trying to win the ball and going through them. So it's a positive, isn't it?
What I love, Darren, you know, look, I know, put all the football aside and being good and all that sort of stuff, lads, he loves to get into people's faces, and especially a referee. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. What I am saying is he just seems like a loose cannon. Me, personally, I love that. I love that about a player. It shows love for a club, love for the game. You know what I mean? At the end of the emotion. And that's something that we need back in Leeds, especially going into the Premier League. Yeah. A lot of quality. But lads, I just can't get it. 6'8". Yeah. Sign him.
What you want in a goalkeeper. Jonathan Wright says, we've calmed down a bit now. Like Gudmundsson left back is in, and some proper goalkeeper links have arrived. And I know Jonathan as well, and it was kind of getting to that stage as well where it's kind of coming to that long part of, like, it's been so far since the season has been ended, the season still like a little bit away, they're back in training. But I did see up on social media on X of our first team that started that pre-season game last season, Dylan, and it was very, very poor. There was very little by way of incomings in the door. The squad was very bare, but there is a long, long way to go. And I know, like, people can kind of get a little bit worried and look what we're doing, and you can see the signings that we've made is not really good enough, and Sunderland robbing our players. So it's very easy to let your mind kind of wander, Dylan, isn't it? But you kind of just have to pull yourself back in a little bit and think, look, there's still a long way to go. And now, as of today, you know, the links are coming, aren't they?
Well, that's it. Look, it's all, I keep saying it, lads, at the end of it, until I see signed, sealed and delivered, I'm not going to believe it. At the end of the day, though, me personally, considering, going back to what you said there about last season's pre-season, I just want to get players in to cover the whole pitch. You know, a few late signings at the start of the season before the window ends, fair enough, 110%, but let's get the main priorities, whether it is the spine of the team, obviously a goalkeeper, left back, right back, you know where it is. GP26, man, you need to stop doing this.
GP26, thanks very much for your super chat, buddy. BFG, big friendly joint, haha. If you know, you know. Thanks very much for the super chat, buddy.
He's a big man. Appreciate
it. Michael, not a fan. Milinkovic-Savić speaks for himself, 100%. Yeah, I like it, Dylan. I really do like it. And then another goalkeeper, Dylan, that we've been linked to it as well. Then Lucas Perri as well from Lyon. Tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah, Lyon star Lucas Perri. He's been in the shortlist now a while. I think we spoke about him a few weeks ago. Same thing. I watched a few videos on YouTube. Looks all right. He's standing at 6'5", 44. Conceded 44 goals. Apologies. I was going to say scored 44 goals.
That'd be nice.
In 33 appearances last season, so it's not bad. 27. Paolo, I'm going to probably butcher this. Paolo Fransca, Lyon head coach, described the 27-year-old as the best goalkeeper in the world in March. In March. So we'll go with that. But yeah,
We just have to see it out there. Like it's different in the French league, and look, it obviously is a decent league, but it's totally different to the Premier League. Like we know that's where all the quality is as well. And look, ultimately they will be tested. Obviously, coming to Leeds United, we know we're going to be a little bit more under the cosh next season. So that's what we've been speaking about for weeks. We're speaking about with the guys in the chat as well. That the goalkeeper, it's a massive position, and it's the one Dylan that Leeds United really need to get right this year, isn't it? We need a solid goalkeeper.
With Bajal coming in and I can't pronounce that other lad's name.
Borneo.
Borneo. Rodon as well. Like, think of the height at the back, and then if you got that 6'8" goalkeeper as well, like that's madness. Like, I just keep thinking of like Willie Nanto and Ramazani, like just being lost in play with these lads, like especially for a corner. Afraid someone's gonna stand on them, or you know what I mean. But yeah, like this is what it's all about, lads. We all love the speculation, we all love the rumours, we all love the hype of it. But as I said, for me, until it's signed, sealed, and delivered, I'm not going to believe it. But the links are good, and they're agile, and they're clearly right.
Yeah.
But time will tell.
And what Danny says here is the Leeds shirt is the heaviest around, and it really is. And we've seen a lot of good players come to Ellen Road and crumbled under the pressure of that shirt. Michael Pollard says, Gudmundsson, like the look of him, like Andy Robertson, Firpo has the edge in the aerial ability. Yeah, exactly. And I think he's a little bit more conservative as what Firpo would be in the last time we seen Firpo in the Premier League. But yeah, he looks like a really, really good player, Gabriel Gudmundsson. So we will go through him a little bit more in depth. Dylan done a bit of digging into him as well. Danny Talksport, Bear Road, I won't scream at Savages if a ball goes past me. I wouldn't, buddy, would you? I don't think he'll have to, Danny. So that's obviously the good one. I reckon whoever activates his release clause first will end up getting him. So time our four owners, flex them, 100%.
It's a lot of money though, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, but Dylan, I think you get what you pay for as well, and we've spoke about it so much, that goalkeeper position. It's very, very important, Dylan. Very important for me, so we need to get it right. So if it is around the fee that's reported, 21, 22 million pounds, I think it's worth it, Dylan. I really do.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, you know me, I'm just a penny pincher, let's be honest.
Out of the two, obviously, when you look at Milinkovic-Savić and when you look at Lucas Perri, which one would you prefer that Leeds United go after? Look, it's good that we're fishing in that pond. Yeah, you go for Savić. Yeah,
6'8", man. It's thumpier.
Yeah, he's good. I do like the look of Perri though as well. Look, I'd be happy with either of them. Same as you. Like if I could pick one and take one now, I think it would be Savić, because I think he looks intimidating. Obviously, we've gone through his stature; he's big as well. But I wouldn't be downhearted as well either, because I think Perri looks good as well. Now the only downside to Perri as well, I've seen Sunderland are linked to him as well. So surely not, Dylan. Surely Sunderland aren't going to do it again.
Yeah, because you just said it now.
Hopefully not, Dylan. French league, as a League One, yeah. It's not bad though. Still not bad though. The French league, but I think the Premier League is different, isn't it? It's different, how we are approaching it.
100%.
Stephen Bourne just saying we were all raving about Rasmus, scored goal, skinhead, going mental, right back. Yeah, I know. And look, that's just the risk you take, Michael, isn't it? Is that you see someone coming in, and I remember when Christensen coming in, we were calling him the Viking, and the next Pontus Janssen. It's time's going to tell, Dylan, isn't it? It's whether signs are going to be good. Look at Tanaka. When we signed Tanaka, people were very underwhelmed with that. We're after selling Kamara, Tanaka comes in, and look at the difference. So it's always hard to tell. On paper, it might look like a good sign.
Regardless, we have to spend money. We have to buy players to try and make ourselves better, or try to make ourselves look a little bit more intimidating, if that makes sense. But to be fair, Milinkovic, I was watching a few, as I said, look, he's getting people's faces. I don't know about anyone else, but I love that.
DB4 LUFC says, I think if Trafford joins Newcastle, which I say he is going to do, we could see the Pope situation change. Yeah, look, I think so as well. And then again, like Pope, look, it's quiet on the Pope front as well, but it's still one that's a possibility as well. If, we don't get the other two over the line, you have Nick Pope there potentially coming in as well. Like he's another name that I wouldn't be disappointed with. Would you? No,
definitely not. And the same with obviously Ramsdale. I know he's brought up in the past, but I think with Pope, personally, I think Pope is he's definitely one to keep an eye on. But if I'm not mistaken, I did see he wants to stay in 5 first place. But you just never know, lads. It's just an emotional roller coaster. This transfer window. But yeah, Pope, I wouldn't say no. 100%, I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, know what you mean. Danny Talks Leeds says, Dillo, Savić said if you don't pick up the Creator Cup, I'm in goal, he's going to fold you like a deck chair as well. Creator Cup is coming. Thanks very much, Danny, for actually plugging that, because I did forget at the start. So it is not Sunday coming, it is the Sunday after, 20th of July. The Leeds Creator Cup takes place in the John Charles Stadium. All your favourite Legion content creators are going to be there. We take to the field in aid of prostate cancer UK. 1 in 8 men will suffer from prostate cancer, so that is absolutely massive. Tickets are only £7 for adults, £3 for kids, and obviously the big news is the bar is open as well on the day, so you'll be able to have a couple of points, come down and laugh with us all, trying to kick a ball, talk the talk, and walk the walk and all that stuff. So yeah, make sure you get down. It's going to be a great day, and if you can't make it, there is a donate button on the website as well. Link is in the description below, so make sure you go and donate over there, guys. It will be greatly appreciated. And after that, then we will stop wrecking our heads about the Leeds Creator Cup. GP26 with another super chat says, I think Leeds are doing it right. We've an average age 26, average height of 26 foot, 26 clean sheets. Haha, I'm excited. Where is our left back uncut video? Lol. Exactly. Let's move on, Dylan, then to a little about Gudmundsson as well, because this has been one that I think has been a bit mad, because we obviously seen a couple of weeks ago, it was put out on Twitter that he was seen in Top Arch, and then it was everywhere, and Gudmundsson's come to Leeds, and then obviously that was squashed then by the club. Then it came out again, then only the start of last week, that he was seen in Top Arch again, and then we seen pictures of him then in Lille training, and that was squashed again. So then when this one was coming up again, and I seen it on Twitter, I was like, oh, I'm not too sure about this one. But then the man himself, Graham Smith from YEP, he came out and said that he was basically in Leeds, could be signed, sealed and delivered. So eventually we have a bit of meat on the bones with Gudmundsson as well. We can actually talk about him a little bit more in depth. A signing you'd like to make?
Considering, yeah, to be honestly, yeah, we would. I think it's probably the right route to go down with, considering I think we actually got linked with him very early on when the season, or when the window opened, if I'm not wrong. Jay looks good, doesn't he? Looks very good. The same thing, lads. YouTube is the way to go to look at these lads. But the videos always prep them up to see good. But stats wise, yeah, look, capped 15 times by his country. Quietly become one of Lille's most consistent performers in League One. Comfortable in defence, duels, calm under pressure. He made over 100 appearances in France and featured in both European and domestic competitions. Just shy of 6 foot, and he can also be deployed as a left wing back. So
she has that versatility as well there.
100%, lads. 100%, I'm all over. I do have a bit more stats here. So appearances last season, 24-25 stats, 30 matches. I'm not going to go into minutes. He scored 2 goals, created 16 chances, expected assists 1.97. Pass accuracy 85, tackles 125, duels 110, interceptions 17, recoveries 83, and times dribble past 13. So
had to pull that up from Jam. Problem is that I watch Edgar Kenny on YouTube and look what happened there exactly. And YouTube is always going to make you look brilliant, Dylan, isn't it? But I think it's the only thing, if you don't watch a lot of like the French football, like I'm kind of more so watch a good bit of kind of Spanish football, small bit of French football, a little bit of German football. So when you have players like coming from the Austrian league or like Tanaka from Bundesliga too, you're not really watching these players, Dylan. So your only go-to is go to YouTube and trying to pick out their best bits, and it's trying to find, not the goal they score, the assist, but like the little things that they do, their first touch, their turn out of play, their type of passing is what you look at as kind of a telltale side, because obviously all of them's going to be the goals he scored, not the ones that he missed ultimately, or the saves he made, not the ones that he let in. And so it's just one of them, but it's trying to get a bit of a barometer of the type of player that they are.
Have a look, but he is quick. He's very quick.
Yeah. Philip says here, we will have rebuilt the back line for 50 million, leave serious money to spend on an 8-10 and a striker. And that's it, Dylan. We did speak about very, very early on at the start of the window, before there was any names kind of linked, is that's what Leeds United are going to be doing. They're going to have a look at each position, how much is allocated for that position. If we can rebuild that back line and bulletproof that back line for what Philip says here, £50 million, and then you probably have anywhere 80 to 100 million possibly then for that front line, like what he says, to get an 8-10 and a high profile striker is what we've been promised by the club as well. Like it is looking good. I know it feels slow at the minute, but all the foundations are in place that it looks like it's going to be a good window.
It's going the right direction. That's, as I said, I just think a few more now to get in the door just for pre-season. I'm not trying to fast track it. I'm solely concentrating on pre-season. One, because it gives lads, what they always say, just players being around each other, getting to know each other, the chemistry between each other. But then, for me personally, to get to see them in the Aviva Stadium. Just saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I am with it. But look, Leeds are doing a really good thing at the minute, lads. In this window, they've knuckled down. We've got a few signings in the door. There's more to come. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I agree. Matty from Imagine Not Being Leeds says, now then, lads, the bar is set very low for the goalkeeper coming in. But if we can get a couple of, like Savage, that would be a statement. 4 out of 7 penalties saved, which it is a very good stat. And I do agree with you. The bar is set very low with Meslier, Dylan. This when Ramsdale came up a couple of weeks ago and people were dismissing it. That's what we're kind of saying. Yeah, Ramsdale probably isn't the one that we want, but he is better than what we have, and obviously I think any improvement in the
100%.
Goalkeeper position, it's needed, isn't it? So totally understand where
someone to come out and do the basics is I keep crying about each week, and I am going to keep crying about it because I'm a whinger, and it is what it is. They just do the basics as a goalkeeper. Come and catch the ball and stop trying to punch or flap at it.
John Pepper says here, I'm not angry, but why the hell is it taking us so long for Leeds to announce Gudmundsson? Yeah, look, it was the same with Bial as well. That one dragged on, and Borneo was a little bit kind of dragged out as well. And the only thing I could put it down to, and Danny would be your man, the go-to to this, the only thing I can put it down to would be the work permit. Dylan isn't obviously coming in from Europe and stuff like that. Yeah. But seems like it's all in hand, John. A little bit like Bial, and it was like when Bial was announced, it was like, yeah, we kind of knew that was happening anyway. So I was hoping it was going to be today. I really was. But yeah, hopefully we get a bit of an announcement on him tomorrow. Danny says, YouTube never put the bad bits, but always put the good bits. And that's exactly it, Danny. So you always have to take it with a pinch of salt, don't you? All the time. Where am I here now? He is fast, like very, very fast. That's about Gudmundsson, Dylan. That's what we need as well down that left wing as well. And again, that suits Daniel Farke's type of play, doesn't it? We now have Bogle on the right hand side. We know how he likes to get forward. Gudmundsson quick going down that left hand side as well. So he's a player that looks like he'd suit the Daniel Farke system as well.
First chance I get if we do sign him, I want to see a race between him and Dan James. That's first thing on the list straight away. No messing about. I want to see who's quicker.
Yeah, that'll be good. The bullet says big difference from Firpo, only 11 in the last 4 seasons. That's obviously the issue as well, and another plus as well, another positive that you can put in there as well, because obviously now Firpo's discipline record had a tendency as well to get himself in situations. Millwall last year getting sent off, very, very stupid.
Sorry, I just have to
yeah, go on, put it up. Trying to catch up here.
No, listen. Cracker, love that.
Gudmundsson reminds me of Dallas, says Philip. Where are we here now? Chris Leeds says, I just don't know why we're signing players from either the same team or the same league who aren't impressive. Yeah, I think Chris is more about trying to. I get where you're coming from as well, because it seems like we're kind of fishing in the same pond, doesn't it? But I think where we are with our financial muscle, and we had a really, really good chat with Andy Cousins as well about this, obviously in and around the club, and Leeds United just don't have the spending power as what them teams above us are going to have. We've heard anywhere from 120 to 150 million supposedly is what Leeds United are going to be looking to spend. We haven't offloaded anyone major at the minute, so nothing has really came in. There's still a conversation to be had, possibly, Strike going, Mateo Joseph going, you could have Gruev going there as well. So there's still a lot of dominoes to kind of fall to see where we're fishing in. But I think at the minute, the way Leeds are playing it is what we're kind of blustering, around the fringes of that squad. Dylan, aren't we? Look, at Gudmundsson is going to be a starter, but the likes of your Borneo, you'd like to think he's going to be a backup to Rodon. Nemeche, obviously a backup there as well. So it feels like we're kind of buffing out the fringes first before we actually go for, well, hopefully, that's what we're going for before we go for our main targets.
But it was definitely not last season. The season before, me and you were ranting and raving at the fact of looking at the bench going, what's going on here? Like, one, Farke making late subs, but there was no one to bring on.
Yeah.
There was literally no one to bring on. So, to be fair, it's not a bad idea to look in the Premier League, looking at the bench going, well, if this doesn't work out, this is coming on, or he's coming on, or he's playing here, or he's playing there. So, it's not a bad idea either, but I just genuinely think that's the way Leeds need to work going forward. Certainly not be reliant on individuals or a team, and that's the end of it.
Yeah. Jam says, I'm so chilled about it all. The 49ers will get it right. Transfers take time, and especially the good ones. I agree as well, Dylan. I agree. What's the saying? All good things come to those who wait as well. So we do have to see it. And what does Stephen said exactly? I'm of the same opinion. So is Stephen as well. And it is like I think one day I'm kind of like that as well. Is that one day I'm like, oh, we need to get moving. We still have a lot to do. We have a lot to kind of catch up on. And then the other side of it as well, Dylan, isn't it? Is that we still have a bit of time to go as well, and there's still a lot of dominoes to fall.
Yeah.
Teams are only back in pre-season training this week, so they'll get the feelers of new managers coming in, whether they don't want them there, if they're being told, look, you're not going to be part of my plans this season.
Exactly.
I want you to move on, and it's all stuff like that, isn't it? Now that the players are back, and Fark is going to be having the exact same words with players that he potentially wants to offload as well. So this is an important week, isn't it, Dylan? This is the week where
the next 2 weeks are very important.
Yeah,
100%, and it's like for players that are going to be back in pre-season early on before we get any signings. Fark will be looking at them like that, 110%. No one's place, he said it before, no one's place is guaranteed in this team. Fair enough, you could say Amadou, but other than that, it's no one. Everyone has to fight for their position.
This is what Fergal says here. Fergal Kelly says it could be the fact that it's the first day of pre-season training. Don't want to take from social media pictures of the players coming back, and like it is that, Dylan. It's massive. It's this week. It's this week that the dominoes are going to start to fall. What else have we got here? Philip says, want to see Savage standing next to Largy and Dan, and even Willie Nanto as well. It's going to be brilliant, isn't it? The difference.
Right.
Nemetja looked like a joint in those pictures to Ramazani and Nanto, and he does, and he's nowhere near as big as Savage as well. So, again, then we've kind of gone back to we really have a profile of player that we're looking at this year. Height, physicality. Looks like we're going to be bullying teams next year, and we are going to need that next year. We can't just rely on the pretty football at times that we played in the championship last year. There's going to be games where we're going to have to dig in, be ruthless, and grind it out, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I think going back to Daniel Fark, obviously with Norwich, saying that he didn't have the funds. Come the start of the season, if we do have the players that he's wanted, we've got a good few signings and another, in every position that we've kind of asked for, and we can obviously see that we need improvement. The first 10 games, I know with the new players, but it's going to be so crucial. 49ers will have Daniel Fark, whether we want to believe it or not, on a tight leash, regardless. And I genuinely think if he can get over the hurdle of them first 10 games, get a few decent points on the board, especially with these new signs, as you said, bullying there, 100%. Yeah. Dirty Leeds is back. That's what we want. That's who we are. It's in our blood. It's
exactly it, isn't it, though? That's what we want. And I want to see us bullying teams next year. I want to see Man United come to Old Trafford and us, giving a good out bullying, do you know what I mean? Kicking them off the park, and a nice 1-0 win would be lovely.
You just want one of them games that when they come up against Leeds going, apart from, with Bielsa going, the physicality side of it, and Leeds never stop running, you want them to come up going, let's be honest, like just, as it said, I think I seen it on an interview with Vinnie Jones a few months ago, where I think he was playing with Wimbledon at the time. He used to just go low from the wall, and people were looking at him going, what's wrong with this fella?
Just intimidation.
So, and then one day, I'm not expecting any boys to do that. I'm just, that kind of glaring look in your eye going, I'm definitely not jumping up for a header of him. That lad's going to absolutely punch me around. So, yeah, that's what it's all about. It's all about just getting the right factors in place, the right signings. We have the manager, we have the backing, then we go and do it on the pitch.
Yeah, totally, 100% agree with you, Dylan. We have one here from Jam as well, Dylan. We can pull up the comment. Where's it gone? Jam, there. Question for you both. Do you think Fark will change his system for the Premier League? No. 4, 2, 3, 1. It's always been Fark's position. Now, I think he's going to play a back five in the pre-season like what he done last season, and everyone's going to be like, we're going 5 at the back here, this is what we're going to do, and then the first game of the season it's 4, 2, 3, 1. I just don't think he deviates from that position, Jam. I'm hoping that there's a plan B in place to counteract it. I'm sure there has to be. I
was just about to say that.
It will. Yeah, look at Danny says it here now, Jam. It'd be a defensive 4-2-3-1, and that kind of leads us on then to Dylan, because we spoke about Tanaka so much as well. We're obviously linked with a defensive midfielder, Anton Stach from Hoffenheim. Again, you've done a bit of digging into him. Let us know a bit about him.
Yeah, so I think the last video as well, I brought him up as well. Same links again, lads, are coming up repeatedly. But look, it is one of them things. He's undoubtedly an excellent sign for Leeds if they can get his signature to paper. Standing at 6'4", his physicality and aerial dominance. So straight away, just with that word, aerial dominance is clearly something that I'm going to be looking forward to.
Yeah.
He breaks up the play really well, and he will come in handy in the English top flight. His 122 Bundesliga appearances with 5 goals, 16 assists, can demonstrate his experience and his versatility, having played a defensive midfielder, a number 8, and even a centre back. So I'm all over it. I'm all over it. I think a bit of cover as well, considering you don't want that kind of
and he looks physical as well. He looks physical as well, Dylan, and we spoke about it as well plenty of times about Tanaka in there in the Premier League. Again, look, he's going to have to go and prove it. Brilliant player in the Championship, but again, he needs to take that next step up to the Premier League. I'm really, really excited to see how he gets on, but it's more so I want to see him going the other way. We know he can do it defensively in the Championship, but in the Premier League, I'd like to see him a little bit. I'm not saying, going forward, box to box 8 like that, even though I think he can play that position. But if you had an Anton Stach in there, you know what I mean, breaking things up, playing where Tanaka can kind of go with it a little bit more, he looks like the one. It looks like that would be a good partnership there. But then the question mark is then, where does Ampadu come into all this then as well? If we're signing centre backs, we're bringing in another defensive midfielder. Does that push Gruev out the door? What happens with Ampadu as well? So there's massive
I think it's covered
competition.
Well, that's it. That's the one that you said it yourself.
Well, like, are you going to sign Stach then for cover, Dylan? Like, I'm not too sure. I don't think you are. Like, you'd more be looking at him as a starter. But then, look what I said. Where does Ampadu go?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, if it was me and I was not the player, if I was part of the club, and the bigger picture here is cover. Something that, the Premier League's a hard-hitting league. We all know that. It's not as cruelsome as the Championship, but it is a hard-hitting league. Coming up the best players in the world, if I'm being honest with you. But then, apart from all that, Darren, it's the competition. But they need to sell it to these players.
Yeah. Yeah,
lad, we're willing to sign you, but you're going to have to put in the work. You're not going to walk onto this team. We have such and such in there who's definitely going to get ahead on you. So you're going to have to really work. It brings us back to the Isaac Schmidt situation, when he walked in. And now, don't get me wrong, every time that he came on, he looked unbelievable. But, I mean, he hasn't really been playing. He hasn't played. He didn't played nothing last season.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Yeah. If you want to play football, you're going to have to work.
That's it, yeah. Competition for place is massive. It's the bigger picture for the club, isn't it? But again, look, it's all interesting to see. And look what Danny says here. The next one, I'll come back to your one, DV4. If he does come in as late in the window, and I have that feeling as well, then I think this one will kind of rumble on late on in the window. We'll kind of see. Keep an eye on it over the next couple of weeks and see what way this one goes. DV4 LUFC says, I take Willock over Longstaff. That link up to Willock will be unbelievable if it happens, along with Stach and AO as well. And I do like Joe Willock as well. And again, you'll probably have a certain section of the fan base will throw a little bit of shade at it because it's not the signing that we want it to be. But again, a very, very good Premier League player. And it's the same with Longstaff as well. He gets thrown a lot of shade as well. But, he's played Champions League football for Newcastle, a lot of Premier League experience as well, and Longstaff. And there's times in you kind of just have to bring yourself back, isn't it? And remember where Leeds United are at the minute. And these are players that, for the long-term future, probably not. But for where we're at now, it's that stepping stone, isn't it, to get back where we all want to be.
Yeah, 110%. It's just giving the players that kind of, we're not here to mess about. Yes, we have to survive, but you could be part of a bigger picture here in the dream and the drive that the 49ers are selling to each individual player, and then obviously to the fans with you said it before, the stadium expansion. Look, Leeds is just, I keep saying it, a sleeping giant. It's been awoken, and we're not even there yet. But there's a lot to come. And, and then to get us out of that, we're a very big club, but we're not, as you say, an established Premier League club, and I think that's what the 49ers want.
Yeah. Danny says Hoffenheim want around 20 million, and I think we ain't bringing in a CDM for that price to sit on the bench, and that's what Danny said. That's where I think we'll see where it goes, where we fill other positions first with what we need, and then we'll have a look at that position. Michael Pollard has a very good question here. VAR in the Prem, do you think it will help or hinder us? We had so many things go against us with poor officiating in the Championship last season, and I think it's hard to say, Michael, and we've seen it since VAR has been introduced, is that, like what you said, it can help or hinder you on any given season, but probably what we've seen over the last 18 months with the VAR, it seems to be favouring the big six. We've seen some of the decisions, gone for Man United, gone for Liverpool, gone for Chelsea, and look at that's obviously, the bias, and unfortunately that we've all seen it in the Premier League what way it is, but I suppose it's on any given day. When I think of VAR hindering you, I still think back to that Patrick Bamford one in the Premier League against Crystal Palace when his arm was offside, when it feels so unfair. But unfortunately, next season, that's what's going to happen. There's going to be ones that are really going to hurt us, going to go against us. And there's ones, that we think we might get away with it. But that's just the name of the game, Dylan, isn't it, with VAR, unfortunately?
We're Leeds. We're Leeds, lads. Leeds are Leeds. Everyone's going to try. Look, we're against everyone in this Premier League, and the officials included. So I think VAR is just going to be one of them things that we're just going to have to get over. If you see the ball go into the back end there, celebrate. But it does take away the fact of a goal does going in and celebrating and then being told, oh no, he's offside or was, something going on. But, they've got so many wrong. It's just a nervous kind of thing to go down that road where, not so much corruption, but you just don't want to be reliant on it. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're gonna get into them situations. Unfortunately, with VAR. So you just have to be smart about it. The cameras everywhere. Lads, don't forget, Amps was due to have knee surgery at the end of the season, so maybe they are covering from just in case, and possibly as well. Dylan, we seen Aberdeen last season with the knee issues, deciding against surgery, and then obviously coming back. Potentially, Dylan, that could be it, couldn't it? Where they're looking at stats as well to maybe cover for the first couple of months, but who knows? We haven't heard anything on that yet.
You know me, when it comes to knees, lads, my knees I have cheese knees. I've no ACL in one, and the other one I did deal with. I did get an operation as well, so look, it's not nice. It's not a nice thing to have done. Not good for the head either. But sure, look, we move on, we keep it going. But I think it would have it done by now, wouldn't it? You'd like to think so anyway.
Yeah. You'd like to think so, but like that we haven't heard that of it. Maybe we will when he's back, but yeah, we'll see it. We'll see how that one goes. Leeds have made contact to sign Anton Stachur's no official offer yet to TSE Hoffenheim. The 26-year-old central midfielder is under contract until 2027. A deal is possible. LUFC, love that. That was very like. Anyone miss Phil Hay? I was only thinking about it the other day. I used to Phil Hay used to just be my go-to guy before it was before we did YouTube. It was like if Phil Hay mentioned it, you knew something was happening, didn't it? Everyone would always be tweeting like any news Phil and all. Like Phil Hay was a man, wasn't it? When he said something, you knew the ball was rolling.
It was concrete.
Jonathan says here, need a dead ball set piece delivery guy to maximise reward for the height. Positive players, especially without Rotwell. And yeah, Dylan, we spoke about that, and very loosely again. Towards the tail end of last week, we seen the Gus Hamer situation coming up again. Dylan, what's the crack with this one? Is he feels like he's coming out new Ryan Kent, doesn't he? It's just, every second or third week, Gus Hamer's there again, but kind of leads us on to what Jonathan is saying as well. We need someone with a bit of set piece experience, don't we?
I think they're just waiting, lads. They're waiting to see what happens with value of players. As you said, with new managers coming in the door, who are they keeping, who are they not keeping, contract negotiations. I don't believe anything, because I'm not being smart. Don't take this the wrong way. Any of the players that we've bought, didn't hear a thing about them. Not one thing. But y'all, yeah, a little bit. And I think that was like 3 or 4 days before we signed them. So it's just one of them things, lads. The 49ers really do go under the radar. But yeah, I'd rather Hamer than Bundia, that's for sure.
That's what Gavin James was saying there. That was just after being dropped there as well. So that's what he was letting us know, Dylan. That was just dropped there on YouTube. Was what GP26 is saying here. The news just dropped on Stash there as well. So I'd be interested, but no official offer being made. And I'm not.
Another super chat.
Yeah.
GP26.
Another super chat. Thanks
for
what
a legend of a man. Appreciate it. You don't have to do that.
Darren, spot on. There's a big 6 boys. VAR will always favour them. That's it, buddy. And look, it's a computer ran by humans, which is unfortunate for me. Don't know about you guys, but I'm just go back to the old days. I could kind of take a human error from a referee. If there was an offside or the linesman didn't spot it, that was always part and parcel of football. We kind of got on with it, but with VAR, Dylan, I think it's even more frustrating that the technology is there. It's in place to get the decisions right, and when you're still getting decisions wrong, or decisions are being missed. Madness. That's the annoying thing, isn't it, for me? It's brought in to eradicate mistakes.
But you said it's money. The money that's been gone into it, how are they managing? You put me down a real rabbit hole down. It winds me up, lads. So I get very annoyed, honestly. If I'm being honest with you, I get really annoyed, especially going back to that Bamford one against Crystal Palace.
Easy says, I think the 49ers are aiming for top 10 next season, but our fans are convincing themselves that we will finish below Sunderland. I'm with the 49ers for this one. And in fairness, Easy, for as long as we've been doing YouTube and as long as you've been in our chat, you've actually always been very vocal about the 49ers and you were always very much in their corner. So I'm like that as well, buddy. Look, I'm hoping it is very much like the way it was under Bielsa. Obviously, we'd love to be that, but I take anywhere from 17th to 15th, unfortunately, because obviously that means we can build. We can go again next season. We have a year of the Premier League under our belt, but how good would that be, though, Dylan, if we could actually aim for top 10 next season? That'd be sensational, wouldn't it?
Absolutely sensational. No, lads, would 100%. I keep saying it. The Leeds is the sleeping giant that's been awoken. We just need to push on. We spoke to Jermaine Beckford, Andy Cousins, and Tony DeRigo, and you can go back and watch the videos. We've done an interview with them. But yeah, Darren, they've said it. I think it was Beckford that said it. Let's not rush things. Let's take each day, each season as it comes, and build on it. And keep building on it. And
what
do the
Brighton
right
done,
thing.
Dylan, isn't it? I think it's like when Brighton came up as well, and Bournemouth have kind of done it as well, and especially Brentford as well under Thomas Frank as well. It's more to try and. No, we've crawled into the Premier League now, so now let's try and walk, and then we'll try and run after that. Let's not try and do things too
We
quickly.
have not crawled. We dominated. Dominated.
Burnley were just behind us as well. But look, we're in the Premier League, but I think that's more so like last time. I feel like, we were trying to get ahead of ourselves. We were back, we were spending stupid clauses in contracts, getting ahead of ourselves, being, thinking we were already done and we kind of made it. But it's more so I'm kind of thinking is like, let's do things in the right frame now. Let's build all the foundations there that will give us the success, 4, 5, 6 years time. And we don't want to hear that, but like it is one of them. Just don't make the mistakes of the past. Let's build slowly. Let's be a Brighton. Let's get a couple of shrewd swings. Brighton do it all the time. Brighton just pluck players out of nowhere no one's ever heard of, and then they sell them for 100+ million and all. And that's for me, that's a model you should definitely be going at.
Well, we need to be real. Like, we're not going to dominate the Premier League, but we're definitely going to shake it up in the sense of Leeds are going to establish them as a Premier League team. And I think that's where we need to be.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, it's because Jermaine Beckford actually said that to me. It made sense to me that we don't want to be this yo-yo club.
Yeah.
And we're not. Because there's so much money, there's so much potential behind this club. And as I said, with the stadium expansion, look, at this time and present, and I'm taking the Leeds off, why wouldn't you want to come and play for Leeds United? With everything globally going on.
Everything that's going on, yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Look what Danny says here as well. The Leeds journals don't get as much as what Phil Hay used as well, which is, it's sad.
Correct.
Miss Phil Hay. Miss him big time. Massive. What a player. What a man he was. Adopted Leeds fan, wasn't he? I see us playing 5 at the back with Bogle and Gudmundsson attacking wing backs. Freedom. That's unless we have some centre backs that are out of the way. Yeah, look, it's an option. It's an option, buddy, 100%. I just think with Fark, we've seen his whole career, he doesn't deviate from that 4-2-3-1 formation. And I do think in pre-season we'll see the 5 at the back, but then I think he'll revert back. But it's interesting, and we have that option as well, buddy. We have that as well. If we do need to change it up, Dillo, we can go with that anyway. Robbie says here, I don't want to see Hamer as look, I don't mind it. I don't mind Hamer. I think someone with a bit of set piece knowledge would be unbelievable. Jammy's in the bill, and thanks very much, Jammy. Any nails? Not much, bro. You? Not much. Not much.
I got a new van.
Dillo got a new van. He did get a new van. And Scully talking to players when they're subbed off. Imagine being 6-0 down. And obviously, Dylan, that's one that we didn't even speak about as well, is that players being subbed off now can be spoken to. I think, isn't there something in the dressing room as well, Danny? Isn't there something where you can go into the dressing room at half time or something like that? Cameras in the dressing room, which for me is just horrendous, absolutely horrendous. Like,
well, I tell you one thing: if I was one of them players and I was coming off losing 6-0 and Sky tried to interview me, I would 100%.
Even just being subbed, Dylan. If I'm winning a game 2-0 and getting subbed off, I'm still losing it.
Well,
please make sure you're smashing a like, lads. 100 people in the building, so please make sure you're hitting that like button. Be very much appreciated. Leeds versus Spurs. You remember the goal we conceded when they challenged Meslier in the air? Goal scored by Kane Vier. I didn't even look at it, and that's it. That's a buddy. I remember that one so well. And look at it, probably
top 6 clubs.
It's one of them. You look back at the result, you're like, does it matter? But then again, in the grand scheme of things, if that decision goes for you, it could sway things. But yeah, I totally agree where you're coming from, Michael, as well. It's them small decisions that can prove classy, especially in the Premier League with the quality. At this rate, Sunderland could hit 9th easy B. I don't know. I think they're trying to. Sunderland need this to work. They really do. They're throwing a lot of money at it, so they really need this to work. Yeah. Lads, do you think Stach is a Gruev replacement, as he is a box-to-box style, as he's not a box-to-box style? I think so. Possibly, we spoke about at the very start, Gavin, about possible outgoings, and I think Gruev could be in that mould as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see him moved on. I do think we'll probably see one big one going out, and I think we could possibly see Strike go, Dylan. Like, what about you? That there is, we know there's going to be more outcomes going. We spoke about it with Jermaine, Tony Dorigo, and Andy as well, and Dave said it as well, that there is going to have to be a couple of outcomes.
Yeah, I think Strauch and Gruev are definitely a big shout. Was one I was quite surprised about in the Camden. Was what Jermaine Beckford was It's not true. I'm just putting this out here so that everyone relax now. Is Patrick Bamford that he could be around the dressing room next season? So,
They basically said he is. I don't. Yeah.
Cat's out of the bag, lads.
Yeah.
Danny, you were right.
Danny, you were right.
And I'm raging, he was right.
Darren, how was it being interviewed by Beckford? Absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable, Danny. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Very relaxed sort of interview. And it's the type of probably only LeedsBros interview, not very formal, not very,
he's the biggest messing fella.
Kind of structured, yeah. And we obviously, in the Whites Wake Up, then we interviewed Tony, and then we put one out with Andy Cousins there yesterday as well. And as we were interviewing Tony and Andy, Jermaine was behind the camera making faces and making sounds and messing and stuff like that. But genuinely the most nicest down to earth guys you'll ever meet in your life. Genuinely, and we had probably one of my life highlights. Probably one. But I was even going to say off my wedding day, but the wife's in the chat there. But to kind of sit there and have a point dealing with Jermaine Beckford was like, wow. Like, it's just a pinch yourself stuff, wasn't it?
I was all over him in the sense of the goal obviously he scored in Scum. For anyone that didn't know, I was in school the next day after the game and I went in with my Leeds stop. I got suspended, of course. But the few lads in my school, I was basically getting slated before the match. So I went in and slated all them. I got suspended. So I told them thanks for that. But it was also a low part in my life. My mum wasn't very proud.
Worth it.
And he was actually very sincere. Like, he was delighted to hear that. Like, to be fair,
he was. With us not spending the money that we thought 30 million on centre half goalkeeper, do you think we'll spend big on a 10 or a 9? I think so, buddy. And I think number 9 has to be kind of your marquee signing, Dylan, doesn't it?
100%.
And then we obviously heard when we signed Nemecha, obviously there was, even ourselves here, me and Dylan rang each other when Nemecha was signed, and we're kind of saying, surely this isn't our number 9 to rival Pirro and Joseph next season, because look, he's not proven his injury record and stuff like that. And then obviously Graham Smith then from the YP came out and said that this is a squad player and Leeds United are looking at a number 9, and that's going to be kind of the big sign. And so yeah, to kind of answer your question, I think you probably think the same as well, Dylan, is that's probably where the money's going to go, isn't it? Because we've seen it with Muniz as well at Fulham, throwing 32 million at him. It looks like that's where the money's going to be spent.
The big 100% on a profile player to spend that type of money. Yeah, it's looking like that. But going back to what we said earlier in the video, I think they're starting from the back and working up. But obviously high profile players. I think with Milinkovic, I think it was a 21 million release clause on his contract. Tempting, but still a lot.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We see what happens, lads.
Let's see, yeah. Definitely keep an eye on it. Ian Moore says, great show, you two guys. This Air Fireburger audience really knowledgeable as cheers. Thanks very much, Ian. Yeah, look, we can't even, like, it's
I can't believe there's 103 people in here.
It's crazy. Like, it's massive to have 100 people watching us. And again, we're only in August will be a year at OnlyLeedsBros, but it doesn't go without saying that it's the help of you guys, and it's even, outside of the lives and outside the videos, people DMing us, giving us the information, the amount of people that would go on, our Instagram or Twitter, and there's so many people, tagging us things, keeping us up to date with all the transfer information as well. So it's all down to you guys as well, and that's me and Dylan's aim, is to build a community here of people, and it doesn't matter the amount of subscribers, it matters you guys that are in here having a chat and speaking about Leeds United, Dylan, isn't it? That's why we started OnlyLeedsBros in the first place.
100%. That's what it's all about. I don't want to come on here and talk all about Leeds when I can't respond to someone telling me something that they know or I know, or
We have to talk about this now, Dylan. We have to talk about it. Danny Talks Leeds says, for me, Tanaka could be the one that goes if a high enough bid comes in, Dylan. We spoke about this a little bit, and we're going to bring it up.
I'm not talking about
it. We have to talk about it, because I think that
it's not happening.
No, it's not going to happen. But I turned around and I said it to you that I don't think any Leeds player in this team is untouchable. I think every player in this Leeds team would have a price, and obviously signing Tanaka for 3.5 million. If you had a team, any team across Europe that comes in with a 25, possibly 30 million bid for El Tanaka, would the 49ers, would their ears prick up a little bit, and would they be tempted to kind of say yeah to it? And you're like, nah, definitely not. But when you think about it from a business point of view, Dylan, like, they might, and it's like what Danny says here, if the bid is high enough, that's massive. Look, I don't think anybody, no Leeds United fan wants this to happen, but could be a possibility, Dylan.
You know, like if Mondays can't get any worse, you've just made it. I don't want to talk about it.
I'm only joking.
It's not happening, lads. It's not even up for debate. And
I'm only
see there, your wife had to put in there money talks. It does, but it's not happening, alright? It's not happening.
Thanks very much, Danny. Cheers. Thanks very much. I was winding Dylan up last week.
No, he didn't. He threw a hook out
happen.
And he's out there catching me there and reeling me in. And I'm not playing your game. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Dylan Dodd says, great interviews with all three. Cheers.
Love the name. Love the name.
Definitely a highlight for us. I like him when the 14 irons are quiet. Usually means we are cooking something up and they haven't let us down. And do you know what? Today we've heard nothing from the Leeds journalists as well. Nothing from Graham Smith, nothing from Joe Donoghue or Baron Cross. So hopefully there's something brewing in the background, and hopefully it means that there's something being announced tomorrow. Usually when it does kind of start to go quiet, Dylan, we usually see one coming in the door. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on it. Still can't believe we have to sell a big player. For me, it's not done. Possibly again, Carl. Look, I don't think there's anyone. You know, that would probably surprise me. I think if a big enough bid comes in for anyone, we could see anyone leave Leeds. Dylan, what about you?
Meslier, lads. Tanaka is not gone. Right, we're moving on from that.
He's on an all-inclusive holiday.
Meslier gone. Anyway, good luck. I'd say Stroke. If I'm being honest with you, being so injury prone, I just seen there. John Pepper, I put it up. Every season he always has that, and it's usually around the same time of the year as well, where he just starts to dip. And maybe that's another reason why we're getting so many centre halves. But yeah, I don't know, lads. No one's safe. It's a competition at the end of the day. Money does talk, but Tanaka has gone anywhere. You say it here first.
Tanaka has a Brighton signing all over him.
Stop, Jam. Feels sick to my stomach, lads. If we get rid of him, that's mad to me. A meltdown. That's madness. 50 million, 40 million. You're alright. I'll give you the 50 million when I get it.
Royce was praising Tanaka not so long ago as well. Yeah, no, he's not gone anywhere, but I do think there will be a higher profile player gone. As I said, I think it might be a Grueva Strike. I think Joseph is going to go as well. So it's going to be an interesting week, Dylan. I'm really, really looking forward to this week because I think Friday we'll know a little bit. We'll know what more the way the land lies. And on Friday, myself and Dylan will be live. We're live every Monday night and Friday night at 8:30 as well. So make sure you're popping in on Friday night as well. And we kind of wrap up what's happened this week. But Dylan, and more to say before we say goodnight to all these lovely people.
No, 106 people in the building, pure and utter legends, lads. Honestly, mean that from the bottom of my heart. I want to see Healy. I'll cry with him, to be honest, Danny. If I'm being honest with you, I'll be sobbing my heart out if Tanaka goes. But yeah, no, I appreciate everyone watching. Tune in to Friday. Tune in to the Whites Wake Up and then go back and watch the interviews with Jermaine Beckford, Andy Cousins and Tony DeRigo. Love yous and all.
So that's it from the OnlyLeedsBros tonight, guys. Again, thanks very much for people coming in. Massive number of people in tonight, over 100 people, which is unbelievable for us. Please make sure you're slapping that like button. It really does help us out, and of course hitting that subscribe button as well. We chat you all again soon. So mind yourselves, mind each other.